hovered uselessly above her torn belly. What could he do? He dialed 911 and stammered out details. The operator was speaking to him, but he didn't hear her because his mother opened her eyes. The phone left his ear as he leaned forward. He opened his mouth to reassure her. He was going to lie, to say that she'd be just fine, but all that came out was a single word. Mom. She focused on him, and her expression softened. She struggled to speak, her voice a bare whisper, and Patrick lowered his head as close to her mouth as he dared. Run, she said. He straightened enough to look into her eyes. They're gone. He couldn't bring himself to name the monsters, the creatures of nightmare that had at last returned to his world. They've left. His mother swallowed, and he was sure he saw relief in her gaze. He grabbed her hands, his mind scrambling for something to do. Hang on, he said. Find her, she replied. Close the gate. She was fading. He could see it. Her eyes were growing more distant, and her hands were like ice. He wanted to strip off his shirt to cover her, but he would have missed her next words. Dragouche, she said. It shocked him to hear his druidic title spoken with such command. Find her. The phoenix tear. Close the gate. Permanently. Then his mother shut her eyes and was gone forever. Chapter 1. Zhao Fei Finney didn't like to hunt vampires. It was too dangerous, and she was too vulnerable, but she liked illegal fang activity in Chinatown even less. The area residents had reported the crimes to the police, of course. They told the authorities about the drug addicts sucked dry and dumped between the ginger market and the dumpling palace. Zhao Fei's boss, Mrs. Wang, had even made a big stink about a pair of lovers who disappeared under mysterious circumstances. But BOPS in Los Angeles, the government agency set up to handle illegal paranormals and discord between the species, had bigger problems than a rogue vamp or two, even if all of Chinatown was afraid to go out at night. Truth was, according to the news reports, vamp and werewolf tension was ratcheted up all through the rechristened Crimson City, and everybody was afraid to go out, day or night. Everybody, of course, but several too cocky fangs and the vigilantes who hunted them. This particular rogue vamp's name was Stan, and he was systematically buying out an entire block of Jinling Way. His plan was to corner the local gambling, racketeering, and whoring market. His method was whatever worked: intimidation, seduction, vampire conversion. The last, of course, had been the final straw. When one of Chinatown's young sons showed up with fangs, the remaining sons and daughters had to act. Zhao Fei hadn't planned the trap. That was Pai Ling's job. He was young, 19 to be exact, but he was smart, methodical, and well-liked. In short, people followed him, whereas they simply thought Zhao Fei was weird. They were right, of course, but that didn't make her any less lonely. In any event, they all knew where Stan and his thugs would show up next: Chen's China Emporium. Old Mr. Chen wouldn't sell his little slice of America to anyone at any price, so all they had to do was hide up and down the block, guns at the ready, until Stan's fellow fangs tried to make a move. Zhao Fei had her favorite weapon, a Glock 27, strapped to her ankle. She carried a pistol since leaving Cambodia. Still, as the best marksman in the group, she had a tranq rifle in her hand and had put herself in a good sniping position. Showtime. Stan's crew walked like petty royalty, or the newest Hollywood celebs, straight down the center of the street. There was poor Donnie Lee Chen, only 2 weeks of vamp, and he already looked just like the others. If it were up to her, Zhao Fei would have waited until they did something illegal, threw a brick at a window, threatened an old lady, hell, even kicked a dog. But she wasn't in charge, and Pai Ling wasn't like her, a refugee from harder lands. He had the impatience of an American-born Chinese, otherwise known as an ABC. He waited only long enough for the fangs to make it past the first 2 shooters.